Hello everyone and welcome to Long Haul. Now, for those of you that saw the intro trailer, got a bit of an idea of what we're working on here. We have been tasked with constructing a industrial hub to include, its own infrastructure, bridges, roadways, accommodations, living quarters and whatnot. And in order to get all that built, we are starting off with a assembly bench and a smelter. So we are running with Industrial Overhaul, which makes for some fun times. We've also got my Peterbilt, which has been modified to work with Industrial Overhaul. So we've got gasoline engines and gasoline tanks in here. So that is our setup. Now, obviously, there's not much that we can do right off the bat, as the assembly bench does give us a rather limited production list. So in order to get things going, we are going to have to expand our initial industry. And so to do that, we're going to need some resources. Now, fortunately for us, our employer was kind enough to drop us next to a iron deposit. They've also given us coordinates for a oil field not too far away, which we'll definitely need for our truck before too long. Let's go ahead and get to work. Alrighty, looks like Epsilon's Eclipse was kind enough to send us some supply drop while we're here on planet, so those will definitely have resources that will be incredibly useful to us. Let's go make use of those. Now, while I could drive the truck over here, because it does only have one lithium battery on it, and the fuel tanks are currently empty, want to be kind of careful with how often we use it. And especially since this supply drop is so close, we can fairly easily just run over to it. Of course, running with the drill just so that if we happen across any ore deposits along the way, we can mark them. Because we are going to need a lot of resources in order to complete our contract. Okay, good. This isn't the one that has the thruster they'll try to take off. What have we got? Steel plate. Alrighty. I'm now realizing that I don't have a GPS marker set for our base, so definitely want to get that placed. Having the HUD compass does help. But really only ever if I travel in a relatively straight line. Well, I suppose, if I ever do lose my bearings, find the nearest cliff or, cliff base, or mountainside, and let's look for the wind turbine blades. ready that now that we're back. Now that is not something that I anticipated. Alright, then. That's certainly going to be a right joy to have to remember. Good old eat, drink, sleep, and repeat. The interesting thing is going to be seeing how much of our production we can get built up before our wind turbine is no longer providing enough juice for all of our needs. Impressed, we've actually almost managed to fill up our input inventory as well. I think we'll leave the iron there in the cargo container.
Energy low.
As far as the energy needs on our truck go, you know, fortunately rovers are quite energy efficient. We're not going to have too much to worry about on that front, at least for a little while. The other thing that we're going to be needing. Going to be a plate stamp. Have this process I'm probably going to end up cutting or just fast forwarding through. As for any of you that are familiar with Industrial Overhaul, the getting yourself set up to just a bare bones basic level of production takes a minute. But we are... I don't know why I'm running back that hole. Alrighty, folks. Now, we have made some decent progress so far. However, as you can see, we've got our fabricator, wire jar, extruder, plate stamp, and we're starting on our full-scale assembler. However, we need some metal grid, and in order to build that, we need cobalt. now we get to go for a nighttime drive. Before I go get myself into some trouble and end up getting lost, let's actually make that GPS beacon that we need. Well, let's start pushing this way, see what we can find. Okay, sulfur. That will be of benefit to us. Not necessarily now, but soon. As will the nickel eventually. Really need to find though is some cobalt. I will admit this is definitely not an ideal time to be doing any of this hunting. As evidence to the fact that I nearly I hadn't been paying attention, and if I didn't have this thing governed at a lower speed. Ooh. Coal is good. Coal we need for power generation. Though, if I remember correctly, before we can really do anything to use it, I'm going to need to get my hands on titanium. Also, I cannot describe to you how nerve-wracking it is to be driving this thing. I'm very grateful that the contract stipulated building on CAM, because this truck would not do especially well on the Earth-like planet. Once we get out into the sun and whatnot, I can show you why. Huzzah. Yeah, you see that ground clearance on the front end? Yeah, it's not especially ideal for dealing with particularly rough terrain. However, on a giant dust ball like Protan, it actually works out rather nicely. Let's swing it back this way a little bit. Alrighty, I guess we got a couple of oil sand deposits close by. That's definitely going to be good, because then I can build up a couple of refineries, one specialized for gasoline and the other for rocket fuel. There's our cliff base again. Oop. Let's slow our roll just a little bit. Port packet bed. More coal. Please be football. If you ask me, that's entirely too much oil. like got another ore deposit over to our left. Because I think I saw an ore deposit. Yep. This is going to be one of those painful playthroughs. Of course, you know my luck. You know, the first cobalt deposit I find will probably be something like 15 or 20 kilometers out from base. But then at some point, I'll randomly find one that's like 3 kilometers away. See, now that just ain't right. Finding gold before cobalt. I shouldn't complain though, because gold is a very good material to have found. Because we will need that soon-ish. So I think we end up needing silver in quantity a little bit before gold. Could be wrong on that one, back to our canyon. Or no, these are just some, how'd you like that? Secondary iron surface. So many ores, so many that I don't need. Now I think what we ought to do is I'm just going to time lapse the remainder of our ore hunt until I come across cobalt. So enjoy. Alrighty. And that right there is a lesson in why I always make sure that you have a extra hydrogen bottle on. Right then. Well, I suppose we're going to have to continue our hunt for cobalt. Just with a little extra air this time. As you'll notice, even though I am in a pressurized environment, my health is not increasing. That's because I turned auto healing off. And this is probably going to turn out to be a spectacularly terrible idea, but you know what? Let's head out towards that military watchtower. And next week, see what I find there. Until then, take care, everyone.